I am so glad you convinced me that the family car should be the Defender 110. It is so beautiful inside, it's so comfortable, and it just feels indestructible.
Yes, it really is. I've been waiting a long time for the new model to come out. The Defender 110, I'm telling you, it's my favorite car of all times. It's my third one. You know, I have stories of going off-road. The guy managed the group. He was like, what are you doing in this beautiful car? I'm like, I'm going off-road. He's like, are you sure? Because you can use one of ours. And then they look like Mad Max cars. I'm like, no, we're going to do this. And he was shocked.
Wow. Well, it's great because the Defender has been reimagined for 21st century adventure, and its unparalleled off-road ability as well as its robust interior are invaluable whether you're headed towards uncharted territory or just a weekend of exploration. The Defender 110 tackles challenging surroundings with absolute confidence. The SUV conveys strength outside and in, featuring peerless technology like an intuitive driver display and an award-winning infotainment system. That's my favorite part, to keep you connected no matter where the journey takes you. Adventure is unique to everyone, and so is the Defender. Choose from the two-door Defender 90, the four-door Defender 110, or the larger Defender 130 with the ability to seat up to 8 passengers. You'll find uncompromising performance in all three. So pack up and go even further with the Defender 110. Learn more at LandRoverUSA.com/Defender.
We are far more united than ever before in this sense, but we are not united enough. In order to deal with any of these three big problems, nuclear war, climate change, and technological disruption, we need very significant global cooperation, because it should be absolutely clear none of these problems can be solved on the national level by a single government.
And I think the fear is that, let's take nuclear war, the fear is that the technology will increase so fast, meaning it'll be easier and cheaper to make a nuclear weapon, that we don't evolve globalism enough to basically meet the challenge.
Yeah, or another big problem, which is becoming more and more severe these days, is that as AI develops, it could completely destabilize the balance of power, the nuclear balance of power. In the kind of golden age of the Cold War, when you had the balance of power between the Soviets and the Americans, it was based on the robustness of the weapon systems. That you knew, that I knew, that you knew that you can destroy me. There is nothing I can do to protect myself. But the promise of the new technologies, and especially the rise of AI, is that you don't know. Maybe I have already taken over your nukes and you just don't know it because you don't realize that I have planted all kinds of logic bombs and Trojan horses and malware inside the system that controls your nukes. And I know it, but you don't know it. And this is extremely destabilizing. In such a situation, we are in a much worse position than in the Cuban Missile Crisis. Because if you cannot be sure that you have control over your nukes, there is no longer an effective deterrence. And there is an increasing temptation to use it before you lose it. Okay, maybe now we have control over them. But at the rate that China is developing their AI, in 10 years, we could be completely overtaken by them. And we can't even trust our nukes at that time because maybe they already control them.
I remember looking at a company where they're involved in cybersecurity, and these guys were telling me that essentially every single company in the Fortune 500 and every electric grid is attacked all day long from basically every country in the world. Like there's no, and I said to them, well, is there a way to fix the problem? And their answer, and they were all PhDs, their answer was, whoever they are is smarter than us. Like the bad guy is always somehow smarter than the good guy in these situations because the bad guy is just willing to do anything and the good guy has limitations. So essentially we can assume that angle you're going down is going to have a bad end.
Yeah, I mean, in an AI arms race, whoever wins, humanity will lose. We are getting into an AI arms race, it's maybe the most important thing that is happening on the geopolitical level now in the world, is that we are entering, 5 years ago it wasn't like it, but now we are already in the midst of an AI arms race. And this is a terrible situation because it almost guarantees that all our worst nightmares about AI will be realized. Because every country will say, we don't want to do this terrible thing, we don't want to develop this dangerous technology, but we cannot trust our rivals to abstain. So we have to do it first.
But, you can also assume still, if we assume they control us, they might not know that we control them.
Yes.
And there's still that kind of game. Hey, before you go, I just want to remind you, get your free copy of The Ultimate Guide to Self-Publishing at jamesaltucher.com/publish. You will be surprised. All of your objections like, oh, I can't write a whole book, or I've never written before, or I have nothing to say, or what's the benefits of this? How do I make money from this? I answer all of this and more. I firmly believe you have a unique, creative story to tell, and I want you to tell it. So get this guide. It's extremely valuable. I'm excited to give it away to my podcast listeners first, and I'm giving it away for free. So go to jamesaltucher.com/publish. That's jamesaltucher.com/publish.
These days, we're all investors, trying to be smart with our money despite our worst impulses. But at iShares, we believe that deep down inside of every investor is a better investor. One that's just waiting to be let out. Explore iShares ETFs and insights and let your best investor out. Visit iShares.com for more information.